Get up, Flanders. Alright, perfect timing. Alrighty, so here we go. We are back with iceBURG Control. This is a recent list from the 5.0 dump. It's got a few different choices in it from previous versions that we've played. So I have played both the original version, which I referred to as the Joseph Telecki Special. That was an incredibly magical deck from a very narrow period of modern history. We will be playing a version of that later this week. After that, we also... I'll plug that in a second, Wambo. We also played a version of that deck updated with Mystic Sanctuary because the original version was based heavily on Field of Ruin to attack the Tron and Titan decks that were present in the Modern metagame at that time. Since then, Modern has shifted around a little bit. So this version is very close to Grixis midrange. With the Arcum's Astrolabe and the Snow Elements. And what I say Grixis midrange, there was Corey Burkhart's Grixis control deck, which was full of commands. It had Cryptic Command and Kolaghan's Command in large numbers. That deck has been not particularly successful as of late, usually going into the fourth color with Arcum's Astrolabe and etc. has been more valuable. But the reason that Grixis midrange is distinct from Grixis control is you actually bother to play discard spells at the bottom of your curve. One of the cards that you specifically see when you talk about Grixis midrange is Risefall. So this is an incredibly narrow card. You don't see this very often. It's a split card. Rise is blue and a black. Return target creature from a graveyard and target creature on the battlefield to their owner's hands. So you can bounce a creature in play and you can return a creature from a graveyard to a hand. Weirdly templated, you can bounce either player's creatures, and you can return either player's cards from their graveyard to their hand. So that side is a little bit weird, but pretty good. And Fall is essentially Hymn to Turok for black-red, but if they reveal a land card, they don't have to discard it. So in Modern, this card is actually sometimes phenomenal because there are decks like Burn, which sometimes by the second turn, if you Inquisition them on turn one, you'll see they don't have any lands left. So you are just getting a Hymn to Turok. On top of that, we are now playing Wrenn and Six as the iceBURG decks that I all love are. We're playing a mix of Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay, a little bit of Snapcaster Mage, a little bit of Drown on the Loch, Uro, Kolaghan's Command, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Ashiok Nightmare Muse, and Dead of Winter. So I love these control piles. Right now there is a raging debate in Modern over which is the better control deck, Bant Snow or Sultai Snow, and I would like to say that iceBURG is being apparently ignored from that picture, and I don't appreciate it. As a Canadian, I'm close to the North Pole here. Not actually that close, but closer than most of the United States, Alaska accepted. And I think iceBURGs are important. And now this player has also done some choices in the sideboard, which are worth talking about. We've got some Tarmogoyfs in here, so we can board more aggressively and also put big beaters down against certain types of aggro decks, I assume. So that's the way I'm going to be boarding with those. We've also got a little smattering of Blood Moon. We've got some Tireless Trackers if we want to get grindy. Mystical Dispute to fight other blue decks. Disdainful Stroke for big mana. Urza and similar. And then just a little splish splash of Ashiok. So this is one of my favorite archetypes, win or lose. And we're going to be hopping into the Modern queue with this one. For anyone who is hanging out here live or maybe is watching this on YouTube tonight, wonderful friend of the channel, Wambo Combo 2020. When I say O, I mean the actual letter O. Was saying that he has a Tiny Bones for sale. He's offering it for 30 ticks, 31 ticks, rather than Goatbot buying it for 30. So if you're interested in the Tiny Bones, please contact 5.0 regular Wambo Combo. All right. This hand is a little bit sketchy. Don't have any black mana. I have 3. Oh, no, I do have black mana. I'm with Waterlogged Grove. No, this hand is not sketchy at all. This hand is about as good as it gets. Actually, no, sorry, we're missing red mana. It's supposed to be 2020, but I messed up on Twitch. That's fine. Anyone who's watching the video, you'll be able to see his name on screen now. I assume he. I think you are a he. I've heard Lawson refer to you as a he, but if you are a they or a she, my bad. Somewhat tempted to mulligan here. Are jumpstart cards modern legal? They are not. Yeah, you actually can change your name on Twitch. I did. My name used to be Inverse Paradiddle. And if you're interested in knowing what an inverse paradiddle is, that's an after hours kind of question. You drummer nerd. Nah, that's a crazy Shex thing. My opponent is just tanking on if they want to take their die roll. I don't... Which I guess is giving me more time to mull over whether I want to keep this hand or not. Oh! How many people even know what a paradiddle is? I mean, most people who have ever actually, like, gone to a drum lesson. Alright, I'm going to keep this. It's risque, but we do have Abrupt Decay, and in theory we could cycle the Waterlogged Grove. And there's a reasonable upside to this hand. I really wish Rise was templated so that you could do up to 1 on both sides. As a terrible drummer, I can barely even play paradiddles. Really? Come on. Come on, friend. You can do it. This computer still gives me red wavy lines under the word. No, I can play them fine. Okay, good. Ah, hyperbole. The last refuge of a desperate man. Alright, we got 2 minutes before Wambo Combo sells the Tiny Bones to Goatbot. So, if anyone is interested in a Tiny Bones, contact him now. I have a whack of recordings of me on YouTube playing drums very badly when I was learning. So, if you check out my other YouTube channel, you can find a bunch of videos of me playing drums very, very poorly while I was learning. And then eventually you can see drumming where I was paid as a professional. And I still wasn't that good, but yeah, I was paid as a professional. It was my full-time job. In theory, it still is. All right, looks like we're against Death Shadow. So losing that Abrupt Decay is a blue. Still no red mana for this Wrenn and Six is also quite poor. Yeah. Hi. So if you could go ahead and just sort of figure your out deck, that'd be great. Okay. So we're playing Fatal Push as our removal, right? Hold on, return the game. I'm fairly certain we're playing Fatal Push as my removal. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. Fatal Push versus Lightning Bolt. Right, we're gonna like hold out one more turn. We can also bluff that we drew Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay here. Definitely not in a great spot, but they haven't deployed a threat of any kind yet, so feeling pretty all right. We might have Thought Scour or Cling to Dust. Yeah, that's a card that could be played there, I suppose. So we're definitely looking like we should have taken the mulligan, but we didn't, and now we're here. Hopefully they go fetch, shock, play a 1/1 Death Shadow, and then we rip the red source and just shock it. And then they also don't have any kind of way to protect it, which is super unlikely. Ooh, big fish. You could be a big fish too. Hoi! Alright, Rise could be really good against big fish, but unfortunately we have no creature cards in any graveyard to target. However, we did rip a red source, which means I'm pretty sure there's there better be a basic mountain in here. Yeah, okay, good. Get the basic mountain. I think the best play is to cast Fall on them, because then they discard 2 cards at random. I could stick my Wrenn and Six this turn just to pick up the fetch land, but it's not. Yeah. So we're going to get to whack 2 cards out of their hand here. Like 99%. Because again, being a well-tuned modern deck, discards Stub and Drown Loch. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so being a well-tuned modern deck, usually your land count is pretty low. Almost all the best decks in modern, except for like Amulet Titan and like Titan Shift, have very low land counts and are very aggressive. Okay, that's concerning. If there's a follow-up Death Shadow with this is going to be problem country. Which is fine. Death Shadow is just the right kind of deck to really ruckus us up in game ones a lot of the time. Obviously, we do have an okay shot against them, but things like Dead of Winter is a dead draw. Jace would be really good if I thought it would actually resolve. Probably won't. They drew another land. Okay, so they are pretty flooded for what their deck is trying to do. Okay, that's not my favorite thing in the world. So we're going to play Wrenn and Six first to see if it sticks. If it does, yeah, we're going to play the Waterlogged Grove, sack draw a card, and then pick it up. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Abrupt Decay? No, they can't play that. Lightning Bolt? Lightning Bolt would be frustrating. What if they're playing Lightning Bolt? Some versions of Death Shadow do. Many do not. Okay. One of the things I do love about this deck is it's playing Lonely Sandmar, I believe. No. It's just playing the Waterlogged Grove to cycle. But I love Wrenn and Six with lands that have the words draw a card on them. Okay, opponent's looking for Death Shadow, I assume. We are going to... Actually, we're probably just losing Wrenn and Six here, because they don't want to let us have the draw engine with Waterlogged Grove. Oh no, they're going for the face. Okay, so this means they have some amount of disruption in their hand, which is beatable by us, but certainly not what we want to see. This is a sort of projection of strength from their side of the table. And Fatal Push is uniquely frustrating sometimes against their deck because... Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay, because Gurmag Angler gets to dodge both of those very effectively. I think we'll leave the Waterlogged Grove in play for now. Pick up the Vista. And then... I don't want to cast the trophy on my turn. I want to cast it on their turn and make them spend their mana then. We're going to be on a tight clock in a second here. We'll see if they go for a Teamer Battle Rage here. If they have Teamer Battle Rage and Stub, there's nothing we can do. So we'll attempt to kill this pre-combat. Or, sorry, before damage. Not pre-combat, but before the damage resolves. They could have Drown the Loch, they could have Stubborn Denial. So all of those things actually mean that it was probably correct for me to do this during their upkeep. Not that it's likely to matter, but they had 2 cards in hand, then they drew another. So if their freshest card is the best thing for them to play here, we definitely played this wrong. We should have done it during their upkeep. Don't play like me. Play better than me. Playing fast and loose here. Fast. Loose. They're attacking on this one, huh? Snap. Sure. One snappy dresser, as I like to refer to that lad. Yeah, Stub, sure. They get to have 1 more mana left up. Yep. Storm count 3. That's right. For my sideboard, Weather the Storm. So we're going to 4. We do have the Wrenn and Six with which we could ping the snap. Oof. Okay, so So I do have the Fatal Push. I have the ability to fetch a basic swamp, so we do have a series of draws, and that is one of the best ones that could get us out of this. Dead of Winter's nowhere near a big... Sorry if I came off as advertising. I was trying to see if anyone wanted cheaper tiny bones. No, I mean, you were advertising. And I for one, don't mind. I want you to know, Wambo Combo, I don't mind. You're a friend of the channel, as far as I'm concerned, and you are free to advertise here. So don't even trip, dog. Oh, I should have pinged their Snapcaster, because we're going to have to take 2. Okay, so they have more stack-based interaction than they do creature removal. So I'm going to fetch now. Oh, that snap is going to put me to 1. But we're going to resolve our Ice-Fang Coatl and then hope that it survives. And maybe we get to win. We shall see. The Death Shadow deck does not traditionally have a lot of reach, but they always have the potential of just having a Temur Battle Rage. Did I tap my mana incorrectly? No, there was no better way I could have tapped my mana. So the big mistake on that turn was picking up the Waterlogged Grove rather than pinging down the Snapcaster Mage. So maybe they think I have Lightning Bolt because I made that choice. We shall see. It's unlikely, but they could draw that incorrect conclusion. Looks like there's a Dismember here. Yeah, we're just dead. Cool. So didn't matter anyway, but we tried. It's actually pretty close. Pretty close. All right, so this is going to be one where we have a whole bunch of stuff we can bring in. GDS folds hard to Blood Moon. GDS Grixis Death Shadow. And then Mystical Dispute's okay. It doesn't deal with their threats. It does deal with a chunk of their interaction. Since I don't have anything like Veil of Summer, I think I have to do that. I think Thoughtseize probably goes out. And then Dead of Winter probably. Kolaghan's Command is also not great. But looping Ice-Fang Coatls is really good against them. Wrenn and Six is also not great here, so it's possible I'm supposed to board in something like Tarmogoyf. Not sure on that one. I would think that Ashiok could come out because it's just so expensive. But then again, it's a single card that just completely hoses their ability to continue the aggression. So I think I'm happier having it. I probably want these Goyfs, but I'm not entirely sure what for. Inquisition is nice because we get to mess with their hand. I think I'll board out 1 Fatal Push because it's good against the Death Shadows, but it's bad against the Gurmag Anglers, as that game demonstrated. And then even 1 Abrupt Decay for the same reason. So we have 1 Abrupt Decay and 2 Fatal Pushes. So we've got 3 pieces of removal that are very good against Death Shadow. And then we've got plenty of other cards. This seems like a reasonable matchup. We just need to break slightly better in our way. But yeah, I mean, Wambo, you were promoting a good deal for people who were in here, so that seems like a beneficial part of the little community we've got here. So no problem. Yeah, this hand's a banger. Turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Fall potentially. Yeah, I'm keeping the hell out of that one. So I can get basic Swamp. And then Steam Vents, or Watery Grave into Mountain. There's a lot more black in the deck, like a lot more. Either way, I have all my colors.
Compadres, it is imperative.
Thank you for the follow, Daedalus.
Before the start of the rainy season. And remember, a shiny new donkey for whoever brings me the head of Colonel Montoya.
I'm always tempted to remove that. They brought in Sprite Dragon. Oh, that's sexy. Okay. They have a lot of lands in this hand, which is a little unfortunate with the Rise Fall in my hand. But we're just going to take their Thoughtseize. It means they have no turn 1 play. Yeah, Daedalus Streaming. I hope that is a reasonable approximation of how to pronounce your screen name there. I believe it is. I think we might wait to Rise Fall them until they play more lands out of their hand. So this turn we might just play Delta into Arcum's Astrolabe, and then I have a Triome in my deck, right? I think I have a Triome in my deck. Sorry, I did not do the full due diligence. No, we don't have a Triome, but that's okay. Okay, hold on. It's my turn. I do have a land to play, opponent. I apologize. I'm not trying to pump you for information here. So this will just get into the Steam Vents then. I have an Astrolabe anyway, but I'm just... We have an Astrolabe anyway. Yikes! How many lands is this deck playing? It feels like it's a lot. 23? No, it's the right amount for this deck. So they've cycled the Street Wraith, they've played out the Bloodstained Mire, and the Polluted Delta. I wonder if we see the Sprite Dragon come in here. Sprite Dragon seems really sketchy out of Death Shadow. That's a bold choice, I think. I don't know if I buy Sprite Dragon in a Death Shadow deck. Play a 1/1 Shadow? No, you're gonna play Sprite Dragon, of course you are. It's a freaking 1/1. I'm playing. You know I'm playing Wrenn and Six. How many free spells could you possibly have in your deck? Oh, this just seems really questionable to me. Getting into Modern, love Uro decks. Well, let me tell you something, friend. I play a lot of Uro decks, and if you want endless, I say endless, but semi-endless hours of Modern content, including many Uro decks, you can check out the YouTube channel, which is linked below, with a button that looks like the YouTube icon, and I believe it says YouTube. So I tried to make it as easy as possible. Okay, we're going to hit them with Fall. Hopefully we don't get unlucky here, because they have at least one land in their hand. So they reveal. Teamer Battle Rage and Polluted Delta. So slightly unfortunate. On the flip side, they have once again drawn 4 lands, which is a lot for Death Shadow. And we hit one of their combo pieces. So they do have both the island, Death Shadow. Okay, so we know 3 out of 5. On mobile, no description, but I'll find you. Yeah, no problem. You should still be able to... Oh, that's frustrating. You should still be able to find the buttons if you go to the About or whatever, but whatever. I'm sure you can find it if you go on mobile. Or if you go onto YouTube and you type mana symbol, I think you get me. Actually, let's find out. It's going to be, set up for my algorithm, but... Yeah, if you type a mana symbol, you'll get me. Okay, we're going to play a 4/4 Death Shadow here. Sprite Dragon is at 3/3, so this Assassin's Trophy is going to have... They did not play the Death Shadow. I don't know what that means, but okay. So they played the Delta, and they still have Death Shadow +1. Alright, so... Push that guy off a cliff. Boop. And if they hit me with a discard spell, we'll just shoot down their Watery Grave. They do have an island in their hand, as well as, they've got infinite black sources, but There's a good chance if they play the Death Shadow, they have no interaction. We just get to kill it. What is up, Jiggy Wiggy? We went 3-2 earlier with the Cryptic Kinnan deck. However, there was a couple of tough breaks. So we lost to E-Tron, where we went to 3 games against E-Tron, and we lost to that. And then we lost to Scapeshift. Titan Shift is still a kind of rough matchup. We were close, but they were just... They drew what they needed, and they had the right sequence of things. So Titan Shift is still a tricky matchup. Yeah. So now we're on to a little bit of iceBURG. But I am... Oh, should have fetched there. I am excited for later in the week. I think the deck needs Blood Moon in the board. Well, this one's playing Blood Moon in the board, so we can definitely try that out. All right, what do you got? Do you have a thing that deals with this? Stubborn Denial won't do it. Stubborn Denial won't do it. Huh? Huh? Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver. Oh, they did play their island. Yeah, that's what I like. I mean, Blood Moon in the board is coming out of 4-color decks is just, or 3 or 4-color decks is always great. Yeah, but the deck had a really good showing in the 3-2. We turned to Urza, someone who's playing 80-card Devoted Druid. And I think they're here now. I think that's Panache 01 or 010. I think that's who it was. I missed my fetch again. Well, I was talking and playing poorly, and I apologize to all of y'all. But do you have this sweet Ashiok in play that's going to start to get to cast cards off of them? Which could be fun. We'll see. We didn't flip any permanents, but we did just deny them 2 pieces of interaction already, so that ain't not bad. So we know they have a Death Shadow in hand that they're electing not to play. Like they didn't brainstorm it away or anything. Like I don't... Anywho. Dose. Let's get all these dual lands out of my deck. Because I am in a post-board configuration where I believe I am not playing... Yikes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attack them. We're going to mill them for 4, and then we'll see if Ashiok is worth ultimate-ing, hitting with the ult stick. Sprite Dragon, Bloodstained Mire, Lightning Bolt, Polluted Delta. Oh, the Bolt will kill him, right? Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's see if we can win the game right now. Cast up to 3 spells. Okay, so we'll cast the Sprite Dragon first. Oh, they conceded. Well, I guess the Bolt was going to kill them. It's funny because it was like about 1 turn before I drew that Ashiok. I was sitting here going like, huh, I haven't seen like any of my payoff cards, Jace or Ashiok yet, and then there it was. I think Tireless Tracker could even be a good board in here, but I'm just not sure what I'd want to head of. Because I still like the Inquisitions. Fatal Push is alright. The one Abrupt Decay is fine. Out of curiosity, since I'm trying to start an MTGO, do you rent or buy decks if it's not in play to ask? It's definitely not in play to ask, and not to paint with too boldly a brush, but I think if you ask any streamer that and they think it's impolite, and maybe you're going to find out relatively quickly that you don't want to be watching that streamer anyway. Point is, I am renting some of the cards in this deck. Others I have bought or accrued by winning tickets. I use Mana Traders. I think Mana Traders is fabulous. I do not yet have an affiliate code of any kind with Mana Traders, but the Dive Down podcast does have one. So if you Google Dive Down podcast Mana Traders link, you will help them out and you will get a discount on your first 3 months. So I highly recommend checking out Mana Traders, and if you are going to do that, use the Dive Down link. I think it's 20% off for your first 3 months, which is pretty significant. Yeah. Sadly, the Kinnan deck is too much even for their maximized ticket limit, I think. All right, can I keep this hand against Death Shadow? So this can get me blue or black, which gives me access to Fatal Push or Mystical Dispute. This is a risky hand. We're likely to get hit by turn 1 discard anyway. I'm going to keep it. Again, not a great hand, but they mulled their 7. We need to draw some... we need to draw some interaction. If you do pick up Mana Traders and you like what I do here, feel free to send them an email and say that I should have a Mana Traders affiliate link so that I can start making money from these referrals myself rather than referring them to the Dive Down, although the people of the Dive Down are fabulous. And if you're interested in more modern stuff, also check out the Faithless Brewing podcast. These guys. Faithless Brewing is hilarious and entertaining, and you can learn about Modern. Just a wonderful group of people. And I was on a podcast with them, so I'm... Full disclosure, I am associated loosely with them. They mulled to 5, so I think my risky keep is probably going to be okay, but I could just not draw lands for the rest of the game and lose, so we'll see. The thing with Death Shadow going down to 5 cards is it's going to be hard for them to deploy a Gurmag Angler with optimal speed or a Death Shadow. It's just like there's a potential that they just can't lose enough life. That said, they did get to go fetch Shock Street Wraith. Needs more Wrenn and Six. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but like, beggars can't be choosers. I wanted to play this list as is. Like, it's also a 61 card list, but it's playing a lot of cards that I like. We're going to play the Joseph Telecki special later this week, Jiggy, or maybe even tonight. I'll play it after I watch Better Call Saul with the grandma. But the Joseph Telecki special, I want to see if we can dig it out of the vault and if it has legs still. That is one of my favorite Modern decks I've ever played because it just looks like such a pile. It's playing Fabled Passage. And it's not playing one Fabled Passage. It's playing 4 Fabled Passage. Like, it's just one of those things where you look at it and it's like one of those planes that you look at and you're like, there's no way it can fly, right? It's like scientists with bumblebees where they were like, these can't fly, right? Yeah. I'm gonna fetch here and hit this with Mystical Dispute. I think this trade-off is worth it. I think we can draw into Arcum's Astrolabe or a fetch land or Ice-Fang Coatls relatively quickly, and that will get us going. I also think slowing down the speed of potential Gurmag Anglers is important. Yeah. So they shocked that so that they could get closer to playing Death Shadow. And then next turn, if they have another land or the ability to put 1 card in their graveyard for free, then they'll be able to, like that, they'll be able to cast a Gurmag Angler here. Luckily, they're really low on cards in hand because of their Multi-5, so between Drown the Loch and Assassin's Trophy, we should be good to go here. They could have the absolute nuts that is... Okay, so we want black-red here. I don't know if I have a Blood Crypt in my deck, but we're about to find out. They could have the absolute nuts here of this last card being interaction, especially if it's like Stubborn Denial. But that we can play Drown in the Loch into Assassin's Trophy here, so we need black. 100% we're getting black with this. The question is, what other color am I getting with this? Black-green is acceptable, as is black-blue. But, yeah. Unfortunately, black-red is not an option, which I understand when they were building the deck. There's only so much space. So I think we're getting black-blue here. Yeah. And actually, we have Drown here, and then if they have interaction for this, we're just going to go Snap Push. So we should be good to go. This should be a game win, which is going to be the match win, because unfortunately they had that bad mull. Yeah. That's fine. My opponent is playing this. I don't know how I want to describe this. Like stupid smart, because they've got the Bloodstained Mire and they could have cracked it in response, but it didn't interact with what I was doing there anyway. So, actually, it has nothing. One thing has nothing to do with the other. It's just the Death Shadow deck so often proactively fetches and shocks. They're going to do it at the end of my turn. I don't know if they'll shock. Oh, they didn't even fetch. guess they can keep their options open. Sprite Dragon. Good draw. Luckily for us, we have an Ice-Fang Coatl, which does not yet need Death Touch to kill the 1/1 Sprite Dragon. We're probably just going to attack for 2 and play Uro this turn. Oh, no. Okay, so our Sprite Dragon is now going to have Death Touch when it comes down, so depending on what they draw, it's going to work out nicely for us. We also still have the ability to play Assassin's Trophy if we want to, and picking up Snapcaster. So, iceBURG control... I have to look up the Sultai control list, the Sultai Snow control lists. If anyone here is aware of the details of the Sultai Snow control list, do they play Snapcaster? I know Bant plays a couple, but I think iceBURG to me is like the best Snapcaster deck. I'm a little upset that this version isn't playing any copies of Lightning Bolt. Like, I understand that Fatal Push is generally better, but in the meta right now, it's like, I feel like you could split. So we're playing 3 Fatal Push in this list, plus 2 Abrupt Decay and 2 Assassin's Trophy. But I feel like we could work a Bolt or 2 in here. Play like 1 or 2. Yeah, it's the same as Bant. Sultai's been running about 1, at least Nassif. Well, Nassif is like the Sultai Snow guy, right? He's the one who has popularized it by top 8ing multiple Modern challenges now, and the the midweek metagame podcast that he's on. Those guys are also supportive of it. Okay, so that's a good sign. My opponent fetched out their Steam Vents, but they didn't shock it aggressively, and they're going to play Gurmag Angler here. This is fine. We've got all of this covered. So I think I'm just going to take the 1 here and then trophy the Gurmag Angler. Because I don't mind them having another mana. It doesn't really matter much. And them having a 1/1 Sprite Dragon is not dangerous, and we still have the Ice-Fang Coatl to take out the Sprite Dragon in the future. I don't want to have to wait on trying to Ice-Fang the Gurmag and they could top deck a piece of interaction and then I get hit for 5. Giving them another land is generally not going to be a problem. And we're attacking them down to 6. I mean, they're on a very tight clock, and we have a lot of space here, so I think we're in good shape. Rise Fall is interesting, or it would be if I had any cards in my graveyard worth bringing back, which I don't, so it's all right. Rise Fall is hilarious when you have a Snapcaster in play and a Snapcaster in your graveyard. You just end up with 2 snaps in your hand. Yeah, we're just going to pass the turn here, see what happens. So, basically, no matter what, we're going to be playing this Ice-Fang to try to block the Sprite Dragon. If they have a piece of interaction to play, that's fine. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to respond with the Ice-Fang. This just means they're probably not going to attack. And they're likely to take my Snapcaster? Maybe. We'll see what they do here. Let's see how closely they read my cards. Because if they take the Snap here, I get to bounce their Sprite Dragon and return the Snap. So they should take the Rise Fall, and they can take the Uro, or they concede because there are no good options for them. That's also fair. So 1-0 here. We got a wonderful count of 17 viewers in here, goodness gracious, which not to get into that, but, you know, it's fun to get to this point of streaming. I've been doing this for about 6 months now, and seeing the numbers get up this high on a random Sunday afternoon, which is not even when I normally stream, it just feels good. So thank you all for joining us here for a little bit. And checking out this sweet Modern deck, iceBURG Control, which I would like to become the de facto control deck. I would like people to be like, you know what's good? iceBURG. Sunk the Titanic. Consistently sinks Etron. You know what we should be feeling good about, Jiggy, though? The fact that I have a wonderful friend who helps me brew up Kinnan Erosa decks with crazy things like Stoneforge Mystics, and that you get 5-0s with them. That is damn cool, dude. Time to brew around Cabal Therapist for the Faithless Brewing League, too. Well, okay, so while we're here live, if anyone has any input on this, so I was the point leader at the end of the previous Faithless Brewing Community League, which apparently means the prize that I won is in the next league. I get to create a build around week. I was thinking instead of no ban modern, what we do is we do like ultra ban modern. So like people have had the idea of like how many cards would you have to ban in modern to make it a quote unquote fair format. So basically we're going to play armchair R&D and just ban cards from the format until it's a turn 4 format. Obviously we can't actually go all the way down, but what's up, Bruno Minero? I want to see if you included the tutor in your next build. It was really nice to play against it. I vote American High. Oh yeah, let's just do American Highlander. That was a format I came up with. For anyone who's interested, the Faithless Brewing Community League is open to anyone who becomes a patron at any level of Faithless Brewing. And yeah, I think we're going to play American Highlander. So for the record, American Highlander is modern 100-card singleton with no ban list. I think there will be no ban list. I assume there will be no ban list. Okay, so it looks like we're against Grixis Death Shadow again. They got their ideal opener, which is Fetch, Shock, Thoughtseize, and they even had a Street Wraith there. We're probably going to play Tapland Astrolabe. Play the Astrolabe first, because we're not fetching, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Tapland Astrolabe is fine. Yeah, no, so yeah, Small World. Jiggy and I are good friends from the Faithless Brewing server. Well, you say it's a small world though, Jiggy. You're in like every Discord. You're in like every community. So like it's crazy. Like what is it? The 6 degrees of separation, but it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's like for Magic, it's like 6 degrees of Jiggy Wiggy. It's like no matter who you are, you know someone who knows Jiggy Wiggy. Okay, we're in a... No, I was going to say we're in a tricky spot here, but actually Risefall is going to get to do one of its funny little things here. So we're going to play Rise, and we're going to pick up our Ice-Fang Coatl and bounce our opponent's Death Shadow. So not only are we going 1 for 1, but this is a nice tempo play here. While the Death Shadow only costs them 1 mana, the fact that Death Shadow can't have haste is really good for us here, because they have to spend part of their next turn playing it. We have this Jace the Mind Sculptor threatening to come in, on top of the fact that we have Ice-Fang Coatl that we're bringing back, which is very good against Death Shadow. Well, I think by and large, Magic players get a bad reputation for the tone of some communities. And I totally get it, because in person there are a lot of people who get into these kind of games. I mean, I was a nerd in high school, and I know I got into these things because I liked them, which made me, a bit of a social outcast in some circles. And so there is definitely a part of the community that has relatively weak, general social skills. But when you get them online, a lot of people are just wonderful and supportive, and it's great. And if they're not, just don't interact with those people. Okay, so we have... Oof. Yeah, didn't even draw anything to make this more interesting. So we have a choice here. Oh, what's up, D20 Bandit 91? We have a choice here if we're going to play Jace the Mind Sculptor or Ice-Fang Coatl. If I want to play the Ice-Fang Coatl, I think I want to fetch first. If I want to fetch first, I think I'm going to get a basic land. We've got double Astrolabe, so our colors are as smooth as butter. Yeah, and that's the other thing is modern, and not modern, MTGO, I find, is a really friendly environment if you walk into it with a friendly face, and then you just don't worry about the people who are assholes, which is pretty easy to do. Okay. I think we're going to play the Ice-Fang here. While the Ice-Fang is vulnerable to removal, it's less vulnerable to stack-based interaction. Stubborn Denial won't beat my Ice-Fang Coatl here. So it also draws me a card, which could be Assassin's Trophy or something of that nature. So there's no 1-mana counter they'd likely be playing in their main deck that would beat me here. And Snapcaster is a fantastic draw because even if they have a piece of removal for the Ice-Fang Coatl, I'm going to get to play Snap Risefall. Thoughtseize, perfect. I was hoping not to see Fatal Push. Yeah. I mean, but so I've been a citizen of the internet since I was a teenager. Like, and like, don't get me wrong, like inappropriately young. I was allowed to be like on the internet on my own with nobody watching over my shoulder or any of that crap. And you know, I was playing StarCraft online, and people will spout vitriol at you. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, one, they don't know anything about you. They're just salting off, and people do that in real life all the time. I mean, you know, if you've ever watched a sports game of almost any kind, like, you know, so it's not really about you. It's about people venting their frustration when they're losing at a game. And, you know, from that point, you just grow a thick skin. And I know it's different for different people, and I'm not trying to say to anyone like, oh, just shrug it off. You know, it doesn't mean anything. No, it definitely means something to some people, but they're not really attacking you. So even though their words can hurt, you know, it's not really about you at all. Okay. I think we're going to snap Risefall here. We are flooding like the Nile, but it's possible we can struggle through this. One of the downside, well, I think we can just fetch a tap land. I did not need to pop that fetch land at all, but whatever. We'll go blue green so that we can go blue black. Yeah. So snap. They didn't have a removal spell for my previous creature, so I'm assuming they don't have one for this one. They also didn't have any kind of disruption for some of the spells I was playing before, which I can't imagine that I keep being that lucky. Yeah, so this is going to be a stub. Yeah, all right. So we still have a blocker, so hopefully we get to live here, but if they have Team Room Battle Rage, we're just toast. Well, that's the other thing, too, is like, I have always been a casual spike or a spike rogue or any of those things. I just, yikes. I've never been like an uber spike. I don't know if I just like, you know, I don't think I'm good enough, or I don't want to play only the best decks. But all right, so we got Jace here, which is, oh man, this has been a rough draw. Yeah, I mean, at this point they might just call it a Jiggy Wiggy special, right? All right, so Jace. Oh, I should have played the Waterlogged Grove, because I think with Jace and then crack the Grove and pick up a Fatal Push, in theory, we could have survived. No, I can't play another land. Oh, do they have it all? Okay, they just have it all. Yeah. So we got lucky in the last match against Death Shadow. Let's see if we can do that again. Against Mad Hater 12. Okay, so I think Tarmogoyf maybe could come in here. I know I didn't bring it in last time, but I probably should have done. Dead of Winter out for sure. Maybe Ashiok, even though it did win me a game last time. I think I want the Mystical Disputes. Definitely want the Blood Moons. Blood Moon's ability to lock them out is really good. I think, yeah, less Thoughtseize, and then just like before, we'll go down one Fatal Push and one Abrupt Decay. I think this is where I want to be. Ashiok's like a weird hit and miss against them. The Dream Render, not the Nightmare Weaver. I think I want this back, but I just don't. I'm not sure what to move. Kolaghan's Command? Yeah, I think I took out one Kolaghan's Command last time. Kolaghan's Command with Ice-Fang Coatl is really good, though. Tracker. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. With the way that their removal is, Tracker is pretty good. Maybe I don't want the Mystical Disputes, because we're just playing out better threats than they are almost all the time, and our interaction is pretty global. I don't really think we need Abrupt Decay. at all. I mean, it's uncounterable, which is nice. We'll just have the 1/1 split a Fatal Push and an Abrupt Decay. Blood Moon's really nice on the play, and maybe I'll bring it out on the draw, or at least one copy. I think I'm okay with the sideboarding. This is one of those really tricky matchups to sideboard for. It just generally matters like what cards you draw in what order. Magic's a complicated game. I don't know if anyone's ever told you guys that, but Magic's a complicated game. This is a pretty ideal hand, though. The Snow-Covered Forest is not my favorite thing, but not being a Mystic Sanctuary deck, I have to say, is like really nice sometimes. Because we can get Steam Vents plus Watery Grave, and then we're just covered on our colors, color covered. So we're likely to get hit by turn 1 discard here. They have 59 cards in their deck? What the hell? Did they board in without boarding out? They have 59 cards in their deck and 7 in their hand. Did I just not notice in game 1 their deck was... I don't... Okay. Alright. Bubbles me. Okay, so there's a good chance we're about to get hit with a discard spell. Oh! We're not. But that is also them telegraphing that they... Whatever they need to draw, they already have it. So I'm going to get Watergrave here so I can play the Forest on 2. Even though playing the Misty Rainforest would allow me to fetch a tap land and take less damage, I'm pretty interested in playing this Ice-Fang Coatl because I want to draw more land. Urian Death Shadow Brew incoming. Well, that sounds like the kind of crazy that I am. You have answers for Angler and DS, which is maybe something you need in the beginning to trade until deploy something impactful. Yeah. Well, it's one of the things is like sideboarding is so tricky. Like even against decks where you think something like Veil of Summer should be an auto include. You can't possibly lose. Bring in Veil of Summer. There's games that happen sometimes where it's like, wow, I had 2 Veil of Summers in my hand and they just cast no cards that it mattered for. Thoughtseize away, friend. Took the Drown in the Loch. I don't know what that means. Okay. That was not likely to have Death Touch anytime soon, but I'm going to play the tap breeding pool here. I could play the Misty Rainforest to go fetch something, but there's a good chance they maybe don't have counter. Yeah, I mean, I assume, but for Death Shot, no, maybe. If they play an Angler here, though, I just get to trophy it. Oh, well, now they have enough mana to protect it. But then again, the turn after, Brutality. Yikes. Can't stop that one. Okay, this is going to take my trophy. And then if they play a Gurmag Angler after that, and they have more destruction in their hand, we are going to be in a state. If the threat they have in their hand is Death Shadow, we're in good shape. I think they have a Death Shadow in their hand because if they had an Angler, I think they would just play it there. Uro is a phenomenal draw here. Even if they have Mystical Dispute or something of that nature, Uro is a phenomenal draw here. And no matter what, we're going to be able to escape it next turn if we want to, which is just gravy. I love this card. Y'all can bitch about it any amount you want. I freaking love this card. We even have the extra mana now that we can sack this Waterlogged Grove to draw a card. So they do know I have this Ashiok, so if they draw a Thoughtseize or something like that, they're definitely going to come after it. Okay. I agree about Uro. Yeah. The thing about Uro is like people were talking about if they brought Baleful Strix, which this is really funny to talk about, but like people were talking about like, oh, they can't put Baleful Strix in Modern, like that card is too good. It's just too good. You can't put Baleful Strix in Modern before Modern Horizons came out. And I think there were a lot of people like me who were like, whoa. What the hell are you talking about? Why can't we put Baleful Strix in Modern? Like, do you understand the kind of decks that Baleful Strix is going to make better? They're not good. They're not even close to good. But with Baleful Strix, they could be good enough. You know? Maybe. And so I'm choosing to play the Uro here rather than the Ashiok. Uro is less vulnerable to a bunch of cards they could have in their hand, specifically Stubborn Denial and things like that. Uro also ate through my graveyard there, which means that if they have copies of Drown in Loch or anything of that nature, those are going to be less good right now. No, there were really people who were saying that Baleful Strix was going to be a problem, and I was just like, first of all, they ended up printing Ice-Fang Coatl, which Ice-Fang Coatl, well, there was no snow deck beforehand, right? But the point is, like, most of the decks that Baleful Strix would have made better were just, like, not even close to being viable decks. So it was like, what's the harm? Like, you're making, like, tier 3 decks, maybe tier 2. And then, obviously, they printed Arcum's Astrolabe and Ice-Fang Coatl, which are, you know, seem to be... Oh, they're bolting themselves. Results. Okay, so that's now bigger than my Uro. So on their turn, we're going to attempt to Fatal Push it. We're maybe not even going to block it. Yeah, the point was this was before Modern Horizons, right? And so it was... So if they have Temur Battle Rage, I don't even die here unless they have another way to lose life. But depending on what that is... If Dismember, they go down to... So they also cast a Dismember here. We're fine. So they have 1 mana left. I'm going to go ahead and try to push this because if they have a way to stop this, they won't also be able to kill me. If they have a way to kill me, they won't also be able to stop it. So we'll take 14 here. We're going to be kind of in the danger zone, but we get to play Ashiok and bounce the Death Shadow. So unless something goes horribly awry where like post-combat they're like Island and the last card in their hand is another Disdainful Stroke, which shouldn't be. They concede. They had no chance there. Got it. So anyway, that was before Modern Horizons. Obviously, what we got was better. So much so that in Legacy even, I think Ice-Fang Coatl has generally overtaken Baleful Strix in efficacy, in playability. I think we'll take out 1 Blood Moon and maybe put in an Ashiok on the draw. No, I don't want Ashiok. Maybe just another Fatal Push or Abrupt Decay. Mystical Dispute. See if we can get a fight over there. No, I don't really like Mystical Dispute because it's not good against any of their threats. I don't mean any. Anyway, the point is that Ice-Fang Coatl and Arcum's Astrolabe have like taken over the format way more than Baleful Strix ever would have been relevant for. And obviously, like in a way that some people consider unhealthy, but I don't have a problem with it because these kinds of decks were so bad before Modern Horizons. The only one that was kind of viable was blue-white. Maybe Thoughtseize to take out Angler. That again, it's one of those things that's such a... I don't know. I'm more risk-averse than that, Bruno. If you look at my mulliganing decisions, like as a player, I think I'm just very risk-averse a lot of the time. So the thing with Thoughtseize is like you can have Thoughtseize in your deck and you can Thoughtseize them and then they just top deck the Angler. And I'm not... It might be the right thing to do, but I don't know. Sometimes I just choose not. Wow, that is a hand. Man, their hand could have been anything. It could even be a boat. We have turn 2 Wrenn and Six with a fetch land, so thank you, deck. There's a good chance they have a discard spell by next turn, but yeah, there's so many options and there's just so many ways the game can break. Well, and that's the other thing too, right? Like if you top deck Thoughtseize on like turn 8, right? You're like, oops. But then again, there are also the games where you top deck Thoughtseize on turn 8 and you already have a card in your hand you wanted to play. So you have to play the Thoughtseize, clear the way, and then cast the other card, which you are now sure is going to resolve. All right, so this is going to take my Wrenn and Six, and I'm going to be sad. Not too sad. We have the Arcum's Astrolabe, and from this point on, our Drown in the Loch is super live, plus we've got Fatal Push. They took the Fatal Push. This definitely means they have like Inquisition to play here, right? So they have multiple Death Shadows. Wait. All right, we're going in on this. If we get blown out, we get blown out. If they're playing Surgical Extraction or some such, but I'm gonna play Wrenn and Six and try to ping this thing. Maybe if they have Street Wraith. Is there fear in our dojo? Or wait, are they conceding? Can I? Okay, I can activate. I was like, what? There was a small freeze. All right, is there fear in the dojo? I don't think so. No fear. Remember, folks, no fear. Is there fear? Is there fear? Okay, we're gonna get Street Wraithed. No fear. All right. I hesitated for a half a second. For a second, I almost lost the faith. But Wrenn and Six is the best 2-drop in all of Modern. So pack up your Stoneforge Mystics. Wrenn and Six is the truth. Tarmogoyf ain't shit, he says while playing a deck with Tarmogoyf in it. I'm a big fan of No Fear in the Dojo. Cobra Kai, baby. Cobra Kai. Or play both. Well, we are playing both, right? And then in your deck, we're playing both, and I love playing both. Just play all the value 2-drops. 2 is the best cost. Yeah, it is Cobra Kai. I thought so. I think my opponent is still in the grieving phase. Oh, and apparently you can get some sweet Cobra Kai t-shirts on Redbubble. So, you know, get your t-shirts today. It's got a sweet cobra, and it says there's no fear in this dojo. Still need to watch the new Karate Kid, the one with Jaden Smith. Oh, don't do that to yourself. Okay, my opponent is deep in the grieving phase. So for all y'all wandering in here, my name is Zach Ryle, but I'm Mana Symbol here on the channel, and you can check out all my wonderful links below this video feed, where you can see my YouTube, which has recordings of almost every league I play. I've got my link to my Imager sort of GIF library, which is mostly consisting of Simpsons/Magic GIFs. And I mean literally GIFs that involve Magic, but also The Simpsons. And there's some other stuff down there, my Twitter, whatever. Next turn should be Uro plus land. I think that would be best, right? Let Tracker to mid-late game. The new one with Ralph Macchio and Billy Sabka, Cobra Kai the series. Oh, okay. So I heard about the Cobra Kai series. I have no idea if it's any good, but I think that re-kicked off some of the Karate Kid memes to be more pop culture relevant once again. Uro plus land. So yeah, let's take a look at our next turn, because if we ever get there, it might be relevant. So we can pick up the Prismatic Vista and then play the Swamp, play the Uro, and put the Vista into play. Our other options are hold the Drown and Loch, or just play the Tireless Tracker. But like you pointed out, I think the number one thing with Tracker is I always want to play Tracker on a turn where, one, I have a land drop after the Tracker, and two, I would like that land to be a fetch land. So if we play Uro next turn, the next turn after that, so our turn 4, we'll be able to play Tracker with a fetch land in hand. So I think I agree with that for a number of reasons. But it does depend on what they play. Oh. So I had 2 weeks off of doing any kind of exercise because I had a medical issue. And I've been getting back into it over the last week, and it has been more exhausting than usual, and it's such a pain in the butt. I was doing some shoulder press this morning, and I was feeling like my left side was so uneven with my right side, which is the problem. My shoulders, they're not even. Not going to be good for competition. I don't do any kind of competition. Everything should be played with value. I am addicted to value. A potential t-shirt design that I have is, let's see if I have all the stuff. Photoshop Rescue. T-shirt designs. So I have this one. I actually own this as a t-shirt. And there are photos of me in it. What? What are you doing? What is wrong with you? Oh, because there's a PNG there. Oh, I know what's happening. So this is a t-shirt that I own. I got it printed up. If you want the design for it, I can always ship it to anyone who wants it in high def. So it says always remember comprehensive rule 104.3a. A player can concede at any time. A player who concedes leaves the game immediately. That player loses the game. Just thought I'd remind you. I played this at GP Columbus, or not GP Columbus, SCG Columbus. I was wearing this t-shirt while playing Niv Mizzet, which I checked with the head judge before I did it. And then, do I have the Greatness one? I do, but I need to open it with GIMP, but I can do that. Yeah. My opponent's doing nothing, and I think I'm just going to win by timeout. So, which means we're going to be 2-0 again, which is kind of nice. Yeah, here. Got this t-shirt ready to go at some point. Yeah, it was going to be a nice game. I mean, we no fear in the dojo'd them off their Death Shadow. I mean, it's possible they F6 through it, and that's the way they died, or that's the way they lost their Shadow. So I would assume that they might have tilted if that's the case. I'm going to take a second to fill up my water, so I will be back in 2 seconds. I'll leave the game feed up so we can watch them slowly time out. Oh, I won. Sick. Oh, forgot my water. Greatness at any cost you would buy. Well, unfortunately, that shirt contains, multiple things that are property of Wizards of the Coast. So I cannot sell that. What I could do is give you that design that I had there, and most places in this world you can find a local place that designs or that prints off t-shirts, and they'll probably print it off for you because they won't have any idea that that is copyrighted material. Not that I'm suggesting that anyone do anything illegal. I'm just saying that you could do that. Okay, this is a sketchy keep. I am going to keep it because we've got Astrolabe plus a Snowland and a bunch of 2-mana plays. So we just need 1 land in the next 3 draws. Looks like we're against Etron, so this is an okay hand to keep against Etron. We just need that 2nd land. So, first draw. You're a madman? You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. How's that taste, Jiggy? How's that taste? Huh? You like that? 23. There's 23 lands. I had 3 shots at the 2nd land. And not that the 2nd land would necessarily be enough, but holy double temple. If they do not play a Thoughtseize Seer, I'm going to be over the moon. Chalice on 1? Sick play, bruh. Nice. Nice. Oh, I like that. You see this hand I've got here? No problem. Okay. Our Ice-Fang Coatl already has Death Touch, which is kind of sick, and we ripped the 3rd land as well. Yeah, you gotta respect that hustle. You gotta respect that hustle. All the deck needs are Labes and land on turn 1 to win. Yeah, that's basically the philosophy of it. And if you come back over the week and you see the Joseph Telecki special, it's even more true with that version of iceBURG. Okay, this has got to be Reality Smasher, right? Yeah, which is great because we're going to take 4 damage, but we're going to get to 2 for 1 them, which is Concession Coatl maybe? It's possible. It's already got Death Touch. Can you taste it, Clarice? Can you taste the tears of the Etron? I use them to season beautiful steaks. I love a nice thick cut. Right. Uro into tapped Water Grave. Or tapped Water Grave and leave up interaction. I guess the potential of being able to blow out another Reality Smasher is really good. On the flip side, if they have a Thoughtseized Seer in their hand, getting the Uro into my graveyard and out of my hand is pretty good. So, this is again one of those forking points in a game where you have decisions that have very large ramifications that you have to make almost based on instinct. What I will say is the reason I'm electing to take this Uro line is no matter what happens, by having more mana in play, I have more power over the next couple of turns to leverage some of the powerful spells in my deck. I can double spell, I could triple spell, or I could play Jace the Mind Sculptor with another good card available to me. So if this is Thoughtseize Seer, yes, it's bad, but it's not too bad because it's probably taking my Jace, and then we'll likely have the ability to remove that either with Fatal Push or at least stymie its aggression with Ice-Fang Coatl. On the flip side, they are going to be able to have access to Tron on their next turn. The Fatal Push actually does not help me right now because they still have their Chalice on 1. But I have Abrupt Decay into Fatal Push, which could get me there. And this land ensures that I have Revolt. So we're in an okay spot here. Again, they are going to have access to their full Tron here. So I wonder how good their payoff is going to be. If they get Scavenger Grounds, that's going to be the... okay. So they assembled their Tron. Let's see how big the payoff is. It's not too likely to be devastating, but it certainly could be. Okay, what are you up to? mean, I don't... This can't really be bad. Okay, what do you got? Sure. Okay. I will take it. Steam events? No, I don't need that. Breeding pool is probably best. Yeah, with the Astrolabe in my hand, I definitely want to get rid of this chalice. Because I want to play the Astrolabe at minimum, but I also want to have access to the Fatal Push. It kills Thought Seers, it kills me at Mana Reshapers. It doesn't kill Reality Smashers, but still great. Rise Fall. I can't imagine that Fall is going to hit double in their hand, but Rise is a pretty good play here. So let's put the Ice-Fang Coatl back in my hand and bounce their Mana Reshaper. I think I'm interested in that. And then we could drown it on the way back. We got another Ice-Fang Coatl in our hand, which is almost a guaranteed 2-for-1 against them. That's pretty much a guaranteed 2-for-1. But more importantly, it can remove things like Reality Smasher. They're not even going to play the Mana Reshaper? No, you have to play the Mana Reshaper. Well, you don't have to, but like, yeah. I could have drowned that, but like, they could play something else dangerous, and I don't, you know. I'd rather drown that. Like, if they play Karn, the Great Creator, I would really like to be able to drown that. So what we're really hoping at this point is that the biggest payoffs they have is like Karn the Great Creator and Reality Smasher. If I fetch now, I can play my Uro. Uro wipes out all the spells out of my graveyard, which makes my Snapcaster less effective, but Snapcaster will be able to flash back these Drowning Lochs, really, so... We'll just fetch Island here. Go green, green, blue. We've got double Astrolabe up, so it really doesn't matter which one of these I tap right now. Let's tap the Breeding Pool. And let's cast the Uro for this. And then Uro is not lights out against E-Tron, but certainly one of the best cards you can be playing. Wrenn and Six, also good. Don't have any fetch lands right now, but also good. I don't know. Let's poke them for one. Yeah, I've got a second Ice-Fang. Even if they attack me with Mana Reshaper, I'm just going to take it. I really don't want to give them access to another card. And Uro's life gain triggers are just going to cancel it out. So looks like a nice clean 3-0 for us so far. All the dust? Ugin. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't stop it, so down it comes. And I'm assuming it's going to shoot down my Uro, but at which point I can just knock it down with Ice-Fang. And a Smasher? Holy crap. That's a good draw. And an All Is Dust. Wow. Yeah, when you got it, you got it. All right. Well. Oh, baby, he's got it. So, could push this. I think we'll just... I want more cards in my graveyard so that I can start working towards playing this Uro again. Let's play the Ice-Fang before we decide whether or not we're going to take the damage and or block it. See what we draw. So we're looking for Ashiok or Jace the Mind Sculptor. Those would really help here. That is neither of those things. Just push this now. But don't really need to do that. Yeah, Mana Reshaper's not a problem. The Fatal Push is pretty mana efficient, so What do we got? Snappy. Snappy Dresser is not the best, but it's not bad. So we'll hassle their Ugin. Bonk. Call. We do have double Drown the Loch, which is pretty good. We do have an okay defense for our Wrenn and Six next turn, so I'm definitely going to play Wrenn and Six here. And then we're going to play a small flurry of spells over our next turn, which will likely lead to escaping Uro next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we could play Push, Snap, Push, as well as Drown the Loch. It's a reasonable chance we do something like that. Yeah. So I really don't want to kill either of these creatures, but I think it's probably worth doing. So push the Spirit. They're going to have a card for that. So if I play the Snap right now, this push does not have a Revolt, so I'd have to block. I think that's actually okay. So the push will gain flashback until end of turn, but that's fine. I'm not actually interested in casting it right now. Then we're going to go ahead and block the Reality Smasher. Then we'll see what happens with the rest of this. This gets me very close to the Uro for next turn. And we have Drown the Loch ready to go. And also just play the other Snapcaster to attack. Although they're going to make another token with Ugin, so the Matter Reshaper turned into Matter Reshaper. Yikes. That value. That All Is Dust really was a kick in the pants. Which is why they play it. Fortunately, the next All Is Dust, if they play it right now, is like considerably less scary. We will need to focus on what really matters. What really matter reshapers. I have had a Snap leave the battlefield now, so I can push the Matter Reshaper before the end of the turn if I want to. I really need to keep an eye on what they can play out of their hand. This is definitely a kind of tight one. So I'm tempted to push the Matter Reshaper, play the new Snapcaster Mage, and then on my turn, drown or whatever the Spirit token, and then smash it on the Ugin. Which honestly might be the right thing to do. Or we just play out the Uro and try to beat the Ugin with Uro. The thing is, our deck is actually not that good at bringing back Uro over and over and over again. So I really don't know how effective that could be. So both lines obviously have their merit. I'm going to take the more aggressive one, and we'll see how this goes. Reveals Thought-Knots here. Okay, so they're going to have a Thought-Knot next turn. Play a new Snap. Well, that's a little unfortunate. It might end up working out. We'll see. Oh no, it won't because they're going to play... Well, we have a Drown for Thought-Knot. So, 1 Drown for the Spirit. Puts a card in their hand. Which is not my favorite. Go attack Ugin for 3. Ugin's down tick is -3. Uh-oh. Dismember. On the Ice-Fang. Interesting. Okay. Oh, second Dismember, did they? Nope. So we'll use Wrenn and Six to... Well, I can play my Uro now. I still have the Drown Lock up. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Oh, then we're definitely pinging the Ugin down to 2. So can't kill the Uro. We have a drown, so it's looking pretty good. Double Dead of Winter. Yikes. Dead of Winter is going to kill the crap out of my Uro. So, you know, this deck could really use some kind of giant snow creature that's unbeatable, like Abominable Snowman. Abominable Treefolk. Unfortunately, Joseph Telecki was the only crazy madman who actually played with that card, other than me while playing that deck. So here comes the Thoughtseize. 2 mana card. Oh, right, because of Ugin. Shit. Yeah, we gotta drown this. And that means the Thoughtseize is gonna get one of my Dead of Winters, but then the other one can wipe their board. Unfortunately, that means we can't get at their Ugin. Jeez! Okay. That's bad news. Yikes and a half. Wow. Okay. This is man, Ugin is really good. Yeah, what do you got? Mystic Forge. Yeah, that's a card. Ugin with Mystic Forge. Good God. Well, hopefully what happens here is they play out a big board and they end it off with Thoughtseize, and then we get to Dead of Winter, all of it. But we'll see. No, that's the Thoughtseize from their hand. Okay. If they have a second Thoughtseize, it will be a problem for us. Smasher? Well, why would they play that? Second card? Chalice on 2. I guess that's fair. It's not good, but something you could do. Well, now that's a pretty fantastical draw. So if we shock... Okay, so Snapcaster Mage is going to die in combat. And then we can shock Shatter. Attacking with Uro is... okay. So I think this is going to break down to what happens in this combat, and I don't get to choose what that is. So we're going to have Uro attack Ugin, and a Snapcaster attack Karn. Which I did not spend a great deal of time thinking through, so if I did that wrong, please let me know in the comments below. No, I mean... So they Thought Not block Snapcaster. That is perfect. And the Spirit blocks Uro. Cool. So I'm going to put one card in their hand. I can go discard Shock, draw a card, or I can go discard Pickup. Okay. Either way, I get to play double Kolaghan's Command, which means I can kill the Ugin and put the card at 1. It's about as good as it gets. So we'll go return target creature from my hand and shock. Turn the Snapcaster and shock the Ugin. Bang, bang. Let's fetch. I have a swamp? No. I have to shock if I want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't need to shock for this. Just get the steam vents. Okay. Play Snapcaster. Pentreon. Thank you so much for pointing out the thing that I couldn't do at the moment where it was too late. I'm not blaming you. I'm just that was just unfortunate. All right. So I lose my Uro here, and they get to keep their card. Oh shit. Oh, and great. I drew another land. Well, Yeah, and if I had shattered the chalice on the first play, yeah. If I had shattered the chalice, so this is the second time I've gotten got by chalice on like random numbers in this league. But thank you for the input. That would have been useful if I'd gotten to it a second earlier. You were not able to avert disaster, and it is not your job to do so. Okay, they exile a land off the top. All right, we just gotta pray that they don't rip anything crazy here. But they can Karn for like Walking Ballista, and they can play it at like 50. So that's bad. Yep. What do you want? Liquid Metal Coating? Walking Ballista? Sky Sovereign? Relic. Oh, that's just rude. And I don't seem to have a companion in my companion zone anymore. I don't know what that's about. I thought you were just supposed to have one of those. Where's my Pokemon? Yikes! What the hell is this? Main deck Ballista? Yeah, main deck Ballista. Bye, Wrenn and Six. So both my Dead of Winters from my main deck are gone. If I draw an Uro, I can't escape it. I don't even know what I could draw from this point, but good luck me. I guess Jace, 4-mana Brainstorm, and then yeah, all right. I think we're just dead. Okay, because clock might matter in the best of 3 here, I am going to play out this game. Obviously, we are like 0.00001 to win, but we're going to play it out. We'll see if my opponent spends too much time futzing around in this game. Thank you, Magic Online. Oh wow. Glad I flooded a little bit. Yeah, so if we had played that one turn correctly, we could have gone Shatter the Chalice, pick up the Snap. Then we could play the Snap, shock one of their Planeswalkers, and then ping it with Wrenn and Six. And then on the second Kolaghan's command, we're doing it off the Snap, shocking and shattering the Mystic Forge, which would have put us way closer. But unfortunately, I completely screwed it up. But Magic's a complicated game. Sometimes you make goofs. Oh, yeah. Just keep putting triggers on the stack, friend. They're all yours. Just go nuts. You can put all the triggers on the stack you want. Declare blockers. I literally have no creatures, Moto. Why do you do that to me? I have lost a game on timing out because Moto was like, hey, do you want to put the order of these blockers? It was like, wait, what? No. God. All right, so Goyfs and Bloodmoons, I guess, seem good. I don't think I want Disdainful Stroke against the deck that has Cavernous Souls. I think all this discard could go out. On the play, I could keep Thoughtseize. The issue that I have is that I want to get off of 1 CMC as much as possible against Chalice. Obviously, last game the Chalice came down on 2, but I think that's pretty unusual. And then we need one more cut because we're bringing in 3 Ghosts and 2 Moons. I like Abrupt Decay. I like Fatal Push. I like Assassin's Trophy. I like Dead of Winter. I like Kolaghan's Command. So maybe we'll just bring in 2 Ghosts, something like that, because it's not insane. The other thing I could cut is a Fatal Push. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Is Goyf likely to be better than Fatal Push? Maybe. A lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. They do have Scavenger Grounds, but then again, some of their creatures don't care about Fatal Push. They also have Karns. So it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So go with your gut, friends, and then let Frank Karsten run the numbers for you and tell you that you were wrong. All right, I think these are the kind of hands I came here to keep. Go turn 1 Watery Grave into fetch a forest off the Misty Rainforest, and then we're going to have a pretty small Goyf, but it will grow reasonably quickly. We also have Assassin's Trophy, which is not always the worst against a deck that likes its Eldrazi temples and such, although that early relic is going to be a pain in the ass for my Tarmogoyf. Let's draw Wrenn and Six. Nope. All right. Actually, it wouldn't matter if I drew my Wrenn and Six. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, for future me, always play your first land, if you have the option. Play your first land as if you're about to top deck Wrenn and Six, because you just might. You just might. Have black. I don't need double black. Yeah, let's just get the Tarmogoyf down. Sad Goyf. Bringing in the Goyfs. Immediately punished. You gotta love it. Double temple? Good. Yeah. Well, let's take down their temple. It's a 2-for-1, but I kind of want to dodge the potential Reality Smasher. If they have Thought-Knot Seer, well, this game wasn't going well for me already, so we'll see. iceBURG is generally a good deck against E-Tron, but everything that's generally a good deck against E-Tron will lose when your E-Tron opponent just draws the nuts. Last game, they had a really scrappy draw, and that is not normal from E-Tron in my experience. So that was cool to see that like E-Tron can scrap like that. This is a relatively low resource game at that point, and then they just managed to like claw it back so brutally. Okay, I think we're playing Jace and bouncing one of these Mana Reshapers. That goes south if they have a Smasher in their hand they can play. I suppose I could just Dead of Winter here, kill both their Reshapers, but the problem is their Reshapers draw them cards. So what we're hoping we get to do here is play Jace, boomerang one of these, chump block with the Tarmogoyf. If they replay the Reshaper next turn, we're going to Dead of Winter both of them down. Yeah, this can go badly for us in a large number of ways, but that's where we're at with this hand, so that's the line I'm going to take. They're making the Goyf an 0-1. I mean, I was going to chump block with it anyway, so. Temple? Nope. No land. I wonder if they're going to post-combat. They're going to Roy me. Bye, Goyf. You were disappointing. Yeah. Karn? Of course. This is not good. Plus side, I don't have any Astrolabes yet. Sure, why not? You gotta be technically correct. Sure. What do you got? They plussed Karn. That's an interesting choice. Maybe they think I'm playing Lightning Bolt. I guess that's fair. So we get another snow permanent, like that one. That's good. And they tap their relic there, which means I can play fetch land, Wrenn and Six, and fetch. So, since I'm about to fetch, whatever I put on top, I'm going to shuffle away. So let's put the Waterlogged Grove and I guess the second Coatl. Unless I play the Coatl before I fetch the first Coatl. I guess I can do that. Yeah. So play the Vista, play the Coatl, then we have to fetch a green source. I think there's a second. There better be a second forest in this deck. I think there is. Yes. Okay, good. Could have checked. Didn't. Play the Wrenn and Six, pick up my land, because right now is potentially the only time I'll get to do that. And then they could get Liquid Metal Coating, which is not overly devastating for me right now. So let's see where this goes. They have 5 mana, so they can now naturally play the Smasher. Smasher will die to Ice-Fang Coatl, but it will also take out... yeah. They have really good attacks if they want to. Oh, do they? So the Smasher would have to attack Wrenn and Six. If they want to try to kill both my... All right, never mind. Removal from the E-Tron deck. Man, they're just drawing it all. And there goes my Jace. Okay. So we really want to draw an Assassin's Trophy ASAP, because we already lost one. We only have one more. Okay. Yep. Sure. So this is actually okay for us because we do get to actually spend that mana. And then yeah, we can fetch a black to kill the Liquid Metal Coating. Yeah, that card is really bad right now. Are they going to be willing to crack their relic for this? Maybe. Let's see. Do you want to do it? Huh? Okay. Nope. Works for me. All right. Yeah. Let's just take out this coating. We're still in huge trouble here. They can Karn for Walking Ballista, ping down my Ice-Fang Coatl, crack my Wrenn and Six for 3, ping it down probably. But we're trying. Depending on what they play this turn, maybe we're able to get through this. We'll see. It's definitely not looking good for our hero. Being me. Apparently I'm the hero. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it sometimes. Alright. And FYI, folks, although I would love to finish this league, I think I'm not going to be able to do it today because I want to get out of here around 6. Because I have the evening slated to spend with my wonderful grandmother watching Better Call Saul. We will be back tomorrow evening from 8 till late playing all sorts of wonderful modern decks. So come on back tomorrow and we'll see what we're up to. Probably playing some more 80-card Kinnan Arosa style decks. There's the Ballista X2, exactly as I predicted. Probably going to ping the Ice-Fang Coatl, and then they'll crack me for 3. We're going to get to Dead of Winter kind of effectively here, so that's not bad. And we can snap Abrupt Decay their Sorcerous Spyglass as well. Oh, they're attacking me. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Overgrown Tomb's all right, but what do I actually want to do with this Wrenn and Six this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 6 plus 1. Cool. If I want a second black source, no, I don't need a second black source. So this Vista can go blue. Play Dead of Winter, snap Abrupt Decay. So the Dead of Winter can use black, blue, and whatever. The Snap can use blue-red, and then we have black-green. Okay. And then we get to pick up the Prismatic Vista? Yeah. So ping what you will, opponent. And I know one of the cards in their hand is Mana Reshaper right now. Let's see what the Mana Reshaper flips. Power Plant. Okay, that's still not Tron. Oop, hold on. Because we want to play the Abrupt Decay. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. They have 1 mana now. Yeah. So I could have snapped the Abrupt Decay in response to the Matter Reshaper, but I wasn't thinking of the sort of minutia of the play as it could work out like that. So yeah, that's not great. Still, we've got some okay potential draws in the deck, but this 0-1 Goyf is really upsetting. They have 8 mana, and somehow they failed to hit Tron. They plus their Karn. Interesting choice. They can't have nothing in their hand, right? Like, if this is Matter Reshaper, what are your other cards? More Matter Reshapers? Oh. Sure. Why didn't you play that earlier? That thing's going to kill the shit out of me. Maybe they just top deck it now. But still, like, it's just weird sometimes. Are they going to not attack? I was like, there's no way they're not attacking. Yeah, there we go. All right. So take 5, and then it's like close to our last draw step. Okay, there's no chalice this game. Yet. Rise Fall. Well, that's not really useful at all, huh? I literally can't cast Rise right now. Well. So I can attack Karn with Snap. Right. This could kind of work out. I think. Well, we'll see. What's a Reality Smasher? Okay, we're super dead. All right. Well, you can't win them all. Thank you so much for joining me here, folks. I know this was only the 3rd match of this league, but sometimes iceBURG takes longer than I'm able to play for, and today was one of those examples. But if you are looking for more wonderful examples of me playing this deck or decks like it, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is linked below. I'm going to send all of y'all wonderful folks over to the wonderful Anzi DMTG, that's Anurag on Twitch, who usually plays Legacy and is well-known in Legacy for playing a bunch of wonderful control decks. So I hope you guys enjoy, and then we'll be back all week long. So hit that follow button on Twitter, hit that like button and the subscribe button on YouTube, and have yourself a fantastic night. Take care of yourself, take care of your friends, take care of your loved ones, and we'll see you real soon.
trying to work it out.